Okay, we're going to start today in a seated position, please. So either on a cushion or on the floor or on a chair, whatever you prefer. Take a moment to settle in and get comfortable. Have a wriggle around if you need it. A little wee stretch out, just feeling whatever you need right now. And gradually settling and easing into your pose. Just relax the arms wherever they're comfortable, on the legs or in the lap. Just beginning to pay attention to your breath without controlling it or forcing it in any way. Just feeling into your posture, sitting up nice and tall, but also at ease, slightly relaxed. Making a lot of space to breathe into, inviting your breath right down into the belly. Allowing the ribs to expand with every breath. Softening your face down, relaxing muscles around the eyes, whether they're open or closed. Beginning to notice anything that feels quite tight. So you might be a little bit tight around the hips. Gradually noticing any tension start to ease away. So we'll stay just as we are, just for a few more breaths. Turning your attention inwards. Feeling the movement of breath in your body. Listening to the sound of your breath. And we'll start to bring in some movement now. So bringing your hands together, interlace fingers, push palms away from you and straighten your arms. So bring them straight as they'll go, nice and strong. And then allow your upper back to round out. So push the hands away from you. So really broadening across the upper back. And then we'll lift the arms high, start to lift the chest. Pull your arms back towards your ears. Let the shoulders start to slide down a bit more. And then release the hands, push palms out wide. Float fingertips behind you. Lift and open the chest, plant palms to the floor, or you can rest on fingertips. Try and squeeze shoulder blades together. Look up if it feels good. And then tip the head a little bit more, pressing the knees down and out. Then sweep your arms in front of you. Just float fingertips on the floor ahead. Relax the hands down, start to lean in. So a gentle rounding of the back body without hunching in. So just let your body come into a natural alignment here. And then walk your hands over to one side, just lean in towards one thigh. So here you might be getting a stretch up through the side of the body. And around to the other side. All right, coming up. One hand on each knee. Bring one hand behind. Lift the chest and rotate open. So try and broaden across the collarbones. Turn your head to wherever it's comfortable. And then around to the other side. So one hand on each knee. Float the other hand behind. Try and lift ribs away from hips and then rotate around. Turning to face the front, hands either side, and float one arm up and over. So keep rolling that top shoulder open so that we're not sort of hunching and curving in. We want to keep the chest proud. And if you like, you could add a few pulses to take it a bit further. Just go with what feels good this morning. And then we'll sweep to the other side. No rush to get there. Just hold it once you're there. Feel it out. Maybe a little turn of the shoulders just to get a really good position, good stretch here. Still got that feeling of lifting through the rib cage. And then add a few pulses if you like. All right, and release out. Come over onto hands and knees, please. Okay, so we've got hands directly under shoulders, spreading fingers, knees under hips.
The human shoulder is made up of 3 bones, the clavicle, the scapula.
Sorry, oh my goodness. It was Siri telling me what shoulders are made up of. Okay. All right, so from our hands and knees, all we're going to do here is send the center of your chest down towards the thumbs. So we're pulling the shoulders pulling the shoulder blades towards each other. That's hard to see here with my top, but we want to keep the spine nice and long so we're not sagging in the middle. We've got that little lift in the belly. So just pressing the chest down and then push your hands into the ground and round out across the upper back. So we're just going straight down and straight up, pressing the chest through. Try not to drop the head, so a gentle lift of the back of the head. And then lift again, rounding out, try and scoop in between the collarbones. One more time, pressing down. And then push the ground away from you and round out. Reset into a neutral position, so we're halfway in between. Give the wrists a quick circle if they need it. Just a bit of relief here. But do try and press into all parts of the hands, so pressing into the fingers and the base of the fingers as well, so we're not putting all of the weight and pressure directly into the wrist. So from this neutral position, we've got a slight lift in the belly, and we're just going to tuck the toes under, lift the knees off, and then float them back down towards the ground without touching. So as low as you can without touching. So we want to keep the weight forward, so really feeling the power in the hands, not just in the wrists. We're just going to hold for a couple more breaths. And then drop knees to the floor, bring them a little bit wider, flatten feet, and sit hips right back towards your heels. Let your elbows come down and gently circle wrists. And then stretch your arms forward, walk them a long way ahead of you, and settle into hips. So even if it feels like your hips are high, that's fine. Just take a bit of time here, letting the hips settle towards heels. You can let your head come all the way down to the ground if it reaches to. Just a few breaths here. Coming back up to your hands and knees. Bring knees under hips. Plant down into the hands. And this time we're going to scoop in through the belly, rounding out. And then lengthen through into your cow pose. Rounding out. Try and feel the whole spine move all the way up, right up to the top of the neck, all the way down to the tailbone. Lengthening through. And then find your midpoint, so somewhere in between. Pressing firmly into hands, lovely long spine, drawing shoulder blades towards each other without popping the chest through, so nice and strong. Then tuck toes under, hover the knees off the ground, lower them down as low as they'll go. Try and keep your weight forward. Make sure you're not sagging in the middle. Keep that little lift in the belly without dropping the head, so we're lifting the back of the head. Let's hold for one more breath. And then bring the knees down, slide them a little bit wider, sit back, ease through wrists if they need it, wriggle fingers. And slide arms forward, let your head come all the way to the ground. Rest in. Okay, coming on up to hands and knees. Don't worry, we're not doing that again. Bring your knees directly under your hips, wrists under shoulders. And this time we're going to lift one foot, send the toes up, and we're going to make circles with the knees. So circle the knee down, out, and up. Down, out, and up. One more time, down, out, and up. And then bring the knee in towards you and take a big step through into a kneeling lunge. Once you're there, float arms up. So you can have a hand to thigh if you need a bit of support. Otherwise, we'll sweep arms high. Try and drive down into this front heel. So make sure the heel is pushing into the ground. Pressing into the top of the back foot. And we're still lifting up through the belly, lengthening down through the lower back. And then pull your arms back, float them open, sweep down, fingertips to the floor, and come onto your knees again. Okay, same thing to the other side. So from your hands and knees, send the left leg up, circling down, out, and up. Two more times. Now make sure you're not collapsing into the hands, so keep your pose really strong, still with that lift in the belly to support the lower back. And then bring your knee in towards your body, lift your thigh up towards you, and take a big step through. Coming on up. So feeling your position again, tail down, belly lifting, lengthening up the front line of the body, and sweep arms high. Then pull your arms back, float them wide. So press into the top of the back foot, circle down, and all the way to the floor. Coming onto your knees. Same thing again, one more time each side. Right foot lifts, circle knee down, out and up, down, out and up. So try and keep your hips in position, so we're not swinging the hips from side to side. Then knee comes in, bring it up close to your body, find a bit of clearance underneath, and take a giant step through. Rise on up, push into the back foot for support. Float arms back and open. Pull shoulder blades down towards each other. Fingertips to the floor. To the other side. So find your strong tabletop position first. Toes up. Circle one. Circle two. and 3. Bring it in close, lift and step through. Find your balance, sweep on up. Open, down and back. Fingertips to the floor, coming back. Plant your hands firmly, tuck toes under and send your hips up high. Shift your weight back towards the legs. So we're thinking about sending the armpits towards the thighs. Ears in line with your biceps. Nice and long, all the way up to the tailbone. You can have your knees as bent as they need to be. Keep powering down into the hands. And then send your right leg up. Bend the knee. Keep pushing the knee up. Power down into your hands. We'll take 3 circles. Down, out, up. 2 more times. It can be big or small, you choose. And then coming through, knee up towards your body. Big step into your lunge. Drive down into the front heel. Adjust your position if you need to. So try not to walk on a tightrope. We want to keep the feet around hip width apart. All right, let's bend this back knee so we can maintain our good strong posture here. Tail down, belly in. Sweep arms up. Pull them open, back and down. Bring fingertips to the floor. Step back. And let's do the same on the other side. So the left leg lifts. Remembering we're pushing the armpits towards the thigh. Bend the top leg. Try and keep your arms and your shoulders stable. And just move the top knee. Circle 1. Down, out, up. And 1 more time. Coming through. Big step. Make sure you're not walking a tightrope. Drive down into the front leg and always have a hand to the thigh if you need a bit of support. Breathe arms up. Dip the back knee. Open. Circle. Float fingertips down and come back. So pedaling on the spot. Just walk it out, lowering one heel towards the ground, bending the other knee. So here you might be getting a stretch through the calf or the hamstring. All right, now walk both feet up towards your hands, coming into a forward fold. Hanging out here. So a little softness in the knees. Let your belly drape down over thighs. Drop the head, relax shoulders, loosen up. Do whatever you need here. A little shake out, maybe hold on to elbows. You might even sway from side to side. Any kind of movement that feels good. Okay, and then roll all the way up to standing. Curl your way up. Shoulders roll up, back and down. Float arms up. Hands touch. And come down your center. Thumbs to your heart space and stay right there just for a few breaths. Okay. So a little softness in the knees. Same position, belly drawing in with that feeling of lifting up the front line of the body, lengthening down through the tailbone. So you want to pull it up through the kneecaps. If you've got this tip of the pelvis going on, let's try and pull the belly in, broaden across the shoulders. Spread your toes, press into every part of the foot, all 4 corners, as we sometimes say. And then interlace your fingers, Push your palms forward. Let your upper back round out, so rounding across the back of the shoulders, the upper back. So pushing palms away, still pulling in through the belly. And then slowly rise. Keep your arms straight, pull your arms back as far as you can, lift the chest. Keep tipping the tailbone down, stay strong through the middle of your torso. And then separate hands, push palms out wide. Pull them all the way down. And just let your arms hang loose. So loosen up through shoulders. Okay, breath in and rise, all the way to the top. Come down to your forward fold. Send your left foot back and rise on up. Sweep palms up, dip the back knee, belly still pulling in, float arms open, back and down. So really turn the thumbs towards the back of the room. Sweeping down and reach forward, straighten the back leg. Shift your weight into the front leg and float the back leg off when you're feeling steady. Sweep arms down and behind you. Palms face the floor. Thumbs turn out to the sides. Dive your chest. Step the back foot down. Bend the back knee, sweep on up. And come into your forward fold. So push off the back foot and step in. Hanging out, bit of movement if you like. Then we'll come all the way up to standing, so curl your way up. Continue to reach arms all the way to the top. And release all the way down to fold. Let your head hang. This time we'll step the right foot back. Coming up to your lunge. Sweep arms high. Dip the back knee low. Still checking in with this strong posture. Float arms open. Pull them back and down. Sweep down and forward. Straighten the back leg. Feel the weight shift into the front leg. Keep shifting until you can drag the back leg off. Doesn't have to be very high. Arms circle down and behind. Dive your chest. Palms facing the ground. Step down to your lunge. Bend the back knee, sweeping high. Take one more breath here. And push off to your forward fold. Head hangs, shoulders loosen up. Rise all the way to the top. Curling your way up. Sweep arms high. Keep reaching and then dive all the way back down to your forward fold. Hang out here for a few extra breaths. So you could hold elbows, or you could wrap the backs of the legs, calves, or up high around the thighs. Try not to hold directly behind the knee joint. Spread your toes and think about lifting your hips high towards the ceiling. Okay, release arms, scoop one leg under. Come and take a seat. And come into cross legs. All right, settle in. Shoulders open back and down. Still got that little lift in the belly, so we're not slouching into it. Your natural position might be quite slouched here. So let's try and sit up really tall. And then we'll walk hands over towards one thigh, lean in towards it. trying to anchor both hips to the ground. So if that back hip tries to lift off, let's really try and stabilize our position, leaning in. Okay, plant your hand to the floor, sweep your other arm high, so we're adding on a side stretch. Come around to the other side, so leaning in towards the other thigh. Try and send your chest forward. So rather than hunching and curving into it, we want to be tipping from hips, lengthening up through the body, and then float hands down. Plant your hand to the floor, sweep the other arm up and turn the shoulders, coming into that lovely side stretch. Let the other shoulder fall away from your ear. And release. All right, send the legs out longer than a quick shake out. How much time have we got? About 10 minutes. So come and lie all the way down, bringing the knees up. Plant your feet to the floor. Arms down the sides of your body. Spread your toes open and push down into the soles of the feet, floating your hips high. So we're just going to hold this position. You can have hands under your hips if you need support. You can keep them flat to the floor. You could interlace fingers behind you. If you're here, let's come right up onto the backs of the arms. So squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Make sure you're not compressing around the throat, so give yourself a bit of space here, sending the chin straight up to the ceiling. Try and keep your knees in line with your hips, so they're not falling out to the sides. Let's hold for about 2 more breaths here. And then release your arms and really slowly curl all the way down. Move your arms a little bit wider from your body. Let knees fall all the way over to one side. Just keep the feet touching the ground. And then over to the other side. Back and forth. All right, knees up, feet on the floor. Bring one leg up, doesn't matter which one. Push your heel up towards the ceiling. Try and anchor the hips to the floor and hold behind your thigh. So the knee can be bent depending on your flexibility here. So if you're feeling really tight, you might find it more comfortable to have the knee bent, but try and keep it active by pulling the toes back towards you and pushing your heel up. So keep sending the heel up and driving your hips back into the floor. If you like, you could straighten that bottom leg. Just check in with the back of the pelvis and the lower back. Make sure there's no strain. And also make sure that you haven't lost your whole posture. If you can't keep your hips where they are, then you may be better off with your knee bent. Just breathing into the stretch. Try and let go of some of the effort. It doesn't all have to be about effort. Now bending the top knee, bring it across your body and all the way over. So the bottom leg could be bent, it could be straight, whatever works for you. You can support the leg however it needs it. So maybe a hand over the top or cradling underneath. You might even choose to bend both knees together if you need support. Just turn your head to wherever your neck feels comfortable. There are no rules about which way you have to look. Just go with what feels right to your body. Try and let your shoulders feel really heavy. Notice if you're tensing up a lot across the front of the chest. Always noticing what you're holding on to and softening back from it. Okay, coming up through center, let's reset everything. So we'll bring up the other leg. You might start with your knee bent, the one that's on the floor. Interlace fingers, hold behind the thigh, knee as bent as it needs to be. And then if you can maintain your posture without popping the ribs forward, then you could try and slide the bottom leg. Purely optional. So sending the heel up, anchoring the hips. Allow your shoulders to fall towards the ground. Notice if you're naturally trying to curve forward. So a little bit of engagement at the shoulder blades. Relaxing around your throat and the center of your chest. Big, easy breaths into the belly. And then bend the top knee. Bring it across. Support however you need, bottom leg bent or straight. Turn your head to wherever it feels good. Let your breath flow with ease. Notice what is restricting your breath in any way, whether there's any tightness, tension preventing you from breathing fully. Slowly ease your way out. Bring these up, then turn soles of the feet together. Allow your knees to fall open. We won't be here for too long. Just probably a minute or so. Shoulders drop back towards the ground. Feel a lot of space around the throat, the chest, the ribs and belly. Everything softened down, invite a lot of space to breathe into. Really paying attention to your breath. Notice where you feel it, where it moves in your body, how it sounds. How it changes as you become more relaxed. Okay, we'll slowly find some movement again, just moving in a way that feels right to you. Could be a big, long stretch. Maybe you want to curl in really small And however you choose, come all the way back up to seated position. Take your time getting there. Once you're seated again, relax arms wherever they feel comfortable, thinking about broadening across the chest, collarbones, very slightly engaging around the shoulder blades, but also soften into your pose. It's not all about effort. We want to sit tall and proud, but also with a little softness in the body so we can breathe with ease. Let's all finish our class with one more breath together. We're coming forward, interlace fingers, push palms ahead of you, lift the chest, lift arms, pull all them back. Release hands and just pull the elbows down and then bring your hands together to finish.